Welcome to ChinaSEO.com. Today, we are talking about the massive, and I mean massive, algorithm shifts happening on Baidu. Look, if you're a Western brand in China, this is your new playbook for 2025 because trust me, the ground has totally shifted. All right, let's just get right into it. On the left, that's the old Baidu SEO. This stuff, a lot of us probably used for years, right? Keyword stuffing, low-quality links. But on the right? Well, that's the brutal new reality. We're talking conversion rates dropping 23 points, rankings plummeting by almost 40 positions. The point is, those old tricks aren't just useless now. They are actively hurting you. Baidu is being crystal clear here. You either adapt or you might as well be invisible. So to help you navigate this, we're going to break it all down into 5 key parts. First, we'll talk about what's dead and gone. Then we'll dive into the 3 new pillars of success: user experience, expertise, and video. And finally, we'll wrap it all up into a simple, actionable playbook you can literally start using tomorrow. Okay, part 1. Let's be really clear about what's over. The old rules are dead. Baidu isn't just a search engine anymore. It's cleaning house. It's actively curating its entire platform. And that means a major crackdown on anything it considers low quality. And when I say crackdown, I mean just look at these numbers. Baidu isn't just turning a blind eye to bad content anymore. It's going on the attack. Low-quality links now hurt you almost 3 times more in a single quarter. They wiped out 120 million pieces of content and took over 23,000 websites offline permanently. But here's the flip side, the good news. High-quality original content is getting more than double the exposure. The message couldn't be simpler: create real value or you're out. All right, so that brings us to the first pillar of this new strategy. This is a huge mental shift. You have to stop thinking about pleasing some abstract algorithm and start obsessing over the user, because from now on, the user is the algorithm. User experience is absolutely king. And where does that start? Speed? Seriously, look at this. Number 1.2 seconds. That is your new magic number. It's not a suggestion, it's the target. Baidu's own data shows a direct link here. If your main content loads in under 1.2 seconds, people stick around for an average of 47 seconds longer. Now, for Western companies, this is a huge red flag. Your standard global hosting, it's probably not going to cut it anymore. You have to be technically optimized inside China to even play the game. And here's what happens if you get that wrong: 53%. That's how many of your potential customers will just leave if your page takes more than 2 seconds to load. Just think about that for a second. More than half your marketing budget, just poof, gone before they even see what you're selling. It's a massive, completely avoidable wound to your business. But user experience, it isn't just about how fast your site is, it's also about how clear it is. This chart is a perfect example. It's so simple, but the impact is huge if you have high contrast between your text and the background. 81% of people actually finish reading your content. But with low contrast, that number just plummets to 63%. These are the little details Baidu is now watching like a hawk. Okay, so you've got them on your site, it loaded fast, it's easy to read. Now what? What do they actually see? This is the next piece of the puzzle. It is no longer enough to just translate your global marketing copy. You now have to really prove that you're an expert. Baidu is going all in on a principle called EA that stands for expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. And what this means in plain English is that anonymous, unverified, or super sales of content is going straight to the bottom of the pile. Your content needs to be like a digital resume, proving its credibility with every single article, every single post. So how does Baidu actually measure this trust? Well, it's looking for specific signals. Are your authors qualified? Can you prove it? Are you citing legit sources? Is your company account officially verified for a Western brand? This is so important. It means you absolutely need to invest in local Chinese experts who can create that authoritative content. Content that not only connects with the audience, but also ticks all these new boxes for the algorithm. And look, this isn't just some random algorithm thing Baidu decided to do, it's a direct reflection of what users want. Check out the difference in these trust scores. Content with a named professional author gets a 4.7 out of 5 from users. Anonymous stuff, it's barely a 3.2. Baidu is just following the people. It's aligning its rankings with what its users already believe. Credibility, is everything okay? The next huge shift we need to talk about is the format of your content. Plain text articles, they're just not going to cut it anymore. The whole search experience is becoming multimodal. That means you need a dynamic mix of short video, live commerce, and AI-driven content if you want to compete and to see why. Just try to get your head around this number 1.25 times trillion you want. That's the projected size of China's live cone market. That is a tenfold explosion in just a handful of years for any Western brand, especially in consumer goods. This isn't just some trend to keep an eye on. It is the arena. It's where your customers are right now making buying decisions. And if you look inside that massive market, e-commerce is the absolute thing, making up 65% of the whole thing. So integrating video and live streams isn't some nice-to-have add-on for your marketing funnel anymore. For a huge part of the Chinese market, it is the funnel. Okay, wow, we've covered a lot. We've talked about the old rules being dead, the new focus on user experience, the absolute need for expertise, and of course, the massive rise of video. So let's put it all together. Let's synthesize this into a clear strategic playbook that you can take right back to your team. Here it is, your fourth step. Baidu Reset 1. Audit your technical performance, get that foundation, solid aim for under 1.2 seconds. Load time 2. Invest in expert content, find those credentialed authors, and cite authoritative sources 3. And this is so critical for Western brands. Develop a real video and live commerce strategy. And 4. Use AI tools and structured data to make sure Baidu actually sees and understands all the great value you're providing. This right here is the new formula for success. And that really brings us to the final and maybe the most important question. It's a question you really need to ask yourself and your team. Is your content strategy built for today's users or for yesterday's algorithms? Because answering that question honestly, well, that's going to determine pretty much everything about your success in China's new digital world.